Good evening, everyone. My name is Siti Yunisara binti Muhtar. Today, my group we will be presenting about adolescent pregnancy. What is adolescent pregnancy? But before I begin, I would like to talk a little bit about adolescents. So, what is adolescent? Who are adolescents? Adolescents are a group of children that is aged between 10 to 19 years old. There are three stages of adolescence. Early adolescent, which is between 10 to 14, mid-adolescent, which is between 15 to 17 years old, and late adolescent, which is between 18 to 19 years old. So basically, adolescent is a transition phase between childhood and adulthood. So now that we have understood what is adolescent and who are adolescent, I will talk about adolescent pregnancy. So what is adolescent pregnancy? Adolescent pregnancy is pregnancy that occurs on the kids that is aged between 10 to 19 years old. Adolescent pregnancy is also sometimes known as teen pregnancy, which is why getting pregnant at this age would put the child at a risk. This is because due to not getting a proper prenatal care and guidance. This is because they are young and most probably they would not know what to do, which would lead them to not getting a proper prenatal care. Being young, they might also face a lot of difficulties, may cause extreme stress if the pregnancy were to be a secret. Based on a study that was carried out in Hospital Tuanku Jaafar Seremban, shows that the mean age for adolescent pregnancy or teen pregnancy is between the age of 17 to 18 years old. From this study, it is also found that in Malaysia, 14 out of 1,000 children get pregnant every year, with the percentage of 2.8%. And 6 out of these 14 children would be unmarried. In most developing and developed countries, adolescent pregnancy occurs in unmarried children or unmarried teenagers, while underdeveloped countries like Africa, Bangladesh, and India, most of the pregnancy occurs on married children. This is because child marriage is still heavily practiced in these countries. According to UNICEF, India alone contributes to 1 per 3 of global children marriage. Not to mention in Bangladesh, child marriage is still a common thing, especially for children under 15 years old and especially for girls under 15 years old. I would also like to mention that adolescent pregnancy is a social problem that does not just happen in Malaysia but other countries as well. Even though the rate is still considered low in Malaysia compared to other countries like US and UK. However, it still should not be happening because adolescent pregnancy will put the life of these children at a higher risk compared to adult pregnancy. So that's all from me. Thank you. Now I will pass to Tiffany to continue our presentation.
So these are some factors or causes of teenage pregnancy. First, child early and forced marriage, which can be both a cause and a consequence. Next, lack of information about sexual and reproductive health and rights. Inadequate access to services tailored to young people. Family, community, and social pressure to marry. Lack of education or dropping out of school, and also sexual violence. The other factors that contribute to adolescent pregnancy, so approximately 90% of births to girls aged 15 to 19 in developing countries occur within early marriage where there is an often imbalance of power, no access to contraception, and pressure on girls to prove their fertility. Factors such as parental income and the extent of a girl's education also contribute. In many cases, girls perceive pregnancy to be a better option than continuing their education. In addition, the unique risks faced by girls during emergencies increase the chance of them becoming pregnant.
There are many consequences that follows a adolescent pregnancy. Some of the type of consequences are health consequences, social and economic consequences. Some of the health consequences are that the pregnant adolescents usually give birth earlier than expected. This can result in the infant having a low birth weight, which is less than 2.5 kilograms. The normal range for a birth weight of an infant is 2.5 to 4.5 kilograms. Besides that, pregnant adolescents often have high risk of obstructive labor. This is due to the small pelvic cavity, which may lead to the use of tools to assist the delivery. Such delivery is called an instrumental delivery. Besides that, birth complications can lead to the infant death. Pregnant adolescents tend to not receive adequate antenatal care, which can result in the infant facing the consequences in terms of health. The next type of consequences are the social and economic consequences that a teenager would face if they were to become pregnant. One of the main social consequences is that the social stigma that follows an adolescent pregnancy. It can lead the adolescent to be isolated and ostracized from her own family and society. This could lead the teenager to have an abortion, and besides that, this can have a adverse effect on the mental health of the teenager. Besides that, teenagers who become pregnant are more likely to experience violence within a marriage or a partnership. Due to the stigma, pregnant adolescents tend to drop out of school, which decreases their chances of getting a stable and well paying job in the future. The reason why pregnant adolescents tend to drop out of school is because of the shame and embarrassment that follows a teen pregnancy. In the United States of America, 1 in 3 pregnant teens drop out of high school before graduating with their high school diploma. The pie chart above shows the unsafe abortions that occurs each year. According to the World Health Organization, it has stated that teenage pregnancies have led to somewhat 3.9 million unsafe abortions among girls aged between 15 to 19 years old per year, contributing to maternal mortality, morbidity, and even lasting health problems. Low and middle income countries are accounting for 99% of global maternal death of females aged between 15 to 49 years old. The pie chart tells us that this is nearly half of all abortions worldwide. Besides that, 1 out of 3 unsafe abortions occurs in the worst condition possible, where untrained personnel are using dangerous methods to carry out the abortion. Most abortions occur in the developing part of the world.
Hi guys, now I'll be presenting about the prevention for adolescent pregnancies. So there are many ways for this prevention to be taken care of, and there are many parties and roles that play importantly for prevention. So firstly is individual, and then there's parents, caregivers and guardians prevention roles, and then there's school and societies, and government and non-government societies. Firstly, for individual preventions, they have to choose not to have sex. They have the options to choose if they want to do it or not, and it's not always a yes option. There is always a no option, and they should think it through wisely before they take any action. Other than that, they have to openly talk about it and ask for advice from the elders or the trusted adults around them, as they have more experience and they can give you better advice. Next, it's also important if they choose to stay actively sexual by having safe sex, which is having birth control methods such as using condoms, birth control pills, diaphragm, and many more. Next is parents or guardians or caregivers roles. They play a very big and important role, as they are the ones who are always with the individuals, and it's important that they guide and advise them nicely and give them love so they will understand better, and not like always take these kind of things in a very bad way. So firstly, they have to educate and advise these adolescents about these issues and what are the consequences if they have chosen the wrong path. They should also send them and educate them with moral activities or classes, ethnic and religious classes too. So next would be the school and society roles, where school is a place where you learn a lot of things and where you easily get influenced. So first one is that school and society should educate these adolescents, especially schools. They should provide sex educations to both male and females, regardless any gender, because both of them should know what are their roles and what they should do and what is right and what is wrong. So next, schools should also have campaigns, fairs, talks, and awareness day about these adolescent pregnancies, because it's such an important thing, as adolescents tend to venture out to new activities and try out new things. So next, schools should also provide counseling sessions about this issue, and in these counseling sessions they should also be given advice and about its consequences. Finally, the role of these government and non-government societies also do play a role in this prevention, where they should provide affordable health services and birth control supplies to pharmacies and clinics. And these supplies should be affordable and have manuals in it, so it's easier for these adolescents to understand and read and use it in a better and more correct way. Finally, government and non-government societies should also educate the society about these adolescent pregnancies with campaigns and fairs, and should let people know that this kind of issue isn't a bad thing, and it's a thing that everyone should learn and accept, and always have this in a good way. So next slide shows the cutout of the newspapers and articles of teen pregnancy and what we should do, and that these teens should also seek out for help. Thank you.